This was for me. I literally called it. I called it. This is why the evil trio that y'all can't stand, they're my favorites. Those, what y'all say, those are my clients. Those are my clients. They work for me. They got what I needed done. That's why I'm in the camp of Johnny, Tyrique, and Toby. Like, they gonna give me what I want. Good TV. Good TV. This is a good episode. This is why I love Love Island games. Like, they give me what I want to see. Like, you got the dramatics, you got the craziness that happened, you got the unexpected parts that happen. This was a good episode. But if you're new here, hit subscribe. Do it right now. I'm gonna be here for the rest of the season. I think we might be. I feel like we're getting towards the end. I know it's 3 weeks, so if it's not this coming Sunday, it's definitely next week. I think it might be this coming Sunday, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna be here for future seasons as well. Thumbs up the video. Get in the comments. Subscribe. Go follow my TikTok in the link. Not in the link, in the bio. But yeah, let's go. It's 12:23. I'm trying to go to bed because I gotta work. And if in case you cared, you see I'm only wearing one AirPod. It's because I still can't hear in this ear. Like, I went to the doctor, they drained what was in my ear. Still, I can't hear. I still can't hear. So send a prayer up for me that I have not lost my hearing. I got another appointment next week, so hopefully I don't have that, but I'm upset. And it's just frustrating. But I'm going to try and get through this. But we get back where we left off, which was the Power Squad. They started deliberating and stuff on who to nominate to go into the duel. Tyrique is like Nicola. She's a threat in this game. She is a threat in this game. When it comes to competitions, we know that she likes to compete. Toby and Garbi, they don't want Garbi going in. And Andrea says, like, Justine is the biggest threat in the group. And she's played before. She knows what to do. Andrea's not lying. Andrea, it's interesting to me that they finally, at least this moment in time, only one person has finally spoken up and even mentioned Justine as a threat. I thought they would have already done it, but the fact that they just now are just not talking about this is crazy to me. But Andrea knows. Andrea knows that she's a threat to her game. Tyrique is like, I mean, I'm in a couple with her. Like, I got a good connection with her. Basically shoots it down. I said, good, Tyrique. I knew he was going to do that. Everything that happened, I knew was going to happen. I told you at the end of yesterday's episode, I knew what was going to happen. I told you that he was going to make sure that Justine was not going in. Like, I knew that. And his trio was going to make sure of that too. But he states that Lucinda sitting there talking about how she feels like Garbi is a bigger threat. I said, yet you in her face, smiling, being fake. It's interesting. But Justine, we see her outside with the girls telling her, like, I didn't feel like me and Josh did that bad. I thought that we wouldn't have gotten last. Like, I didn't feel like we got last. I felt like we definitely performed better than that. And Garbi was like, yeah, I was shocked. And I felt like me and Kendall did better too. I thought we would at least be second. But they were shocked how well Toby and Tyrique did. But they start talking about enjoying their wine and whatnot and having a good night. And I'm like, I don't know how they just sitting around knowing that a good portion of the villa is missing. Like, I'd have been looking around, busting up all types of doors, trying to get up in there and see where they at. But then I'm sitting there thinking production probably made them sit out there, which is why Justine, of course, is the only one that's really concerned at this point. Like, where's everybody at? Like, it's weird how half the house is not here. Like, she's the only one thinking about that, obviously, because she's been on TV before. She knows what to expect. So the deliberations continue, and then we move to bitch ass, and Johnny was like, I mean, he's unexpectedly good. Like, exactly. But Lucinda's talking about how he's one of her best friends in the house. I say, and it's a game. Only one person's gonna, well, two people, but one could. So only two people, a couple is gonna win. Like, just because he's your best friend, I mean, they got to keep him in the game. But Tyrique says it's essentially Josh versus Kendall. Like, if you put Josh versus Kendall, Josh will win. Did I not say that at the end of last week, last night's episode? But Andrea says, I mean, you're looking out for yourself, but I have to do so as well. Like, Josh is my best connection in this game. Outside of love, he's definitely my best connection in the game. She's right. But Johnny says, I mean, I hear you, but I mean, we got to be intentional with what we do. Johnny basically said, I hear what you're saying, but respectfully, I don't care. But Andrea said, and it's funny because, like, the way those three are playing to literally do what they want to do that's going to benefit them in the game, I would be doing the same thing. If y'all can't stand Johnny on the show, well, I ain't going to say I would move exactly how Johnny moves, but in terms of the selfishness and me not really caring about what other people in the villa are going to do, how they're going to feel about it, and putting myself and what I want and my goals ahead of everybody else's, y'all would hate me. I would 1000% be the villain because I would be moving just like Johnny is. But Andrea says, like, a fair fight would be between Casey and Kendall. Obviously, she just doesn't want Josh to go down there. And they're like, yeah, it would be a fair fight. Johnny says that he thinks that Kendall will still beat Casey, which I think so too. But he's like, none of us are threatened by Casey, so what's the point in putting him in there? Exactly. But Gabby gets a text telling them that they now have to go mark their targets with a kiss. So the girls walk out. The boys split up to make it not look obvious, but Toby goes walking over to the girls looking extremely obvious. Like, he clearly is looking upset. And it's like, they probably, when they last saw him, he didn't look like that. So for him to come back looking like that, it's like, okay, what's going on? But he walks up. Sydney was like, were y'all over there plotting? Yeah. Yeah. But Toby plants his kiss on Garbi, on her head. We know now she's going into the duel. Johnny and Isaiah come up and they hugging Nicola, and Isaiah didn't get the opportunity to give her a kiss, but Johnny did. So it's Nicola versus Garbi for the girls. Like I told y'all, Justine was not going in there. I knew it. But Andrea, she's telling Tyrique and Gabby, like, I can't even look Josh in the eye at this point. Like, I feel like a liar. But she was like, I mean, I was outnumbered. And she says Josh is in the duel, basically. When she stated that she was outnumbered, we already knew that Josh was in the duel. But Lucinda goes to give him a kiss on the cheek. Lucinda's talking about how she felt guilty, but she's sitting there smirking and stuff. But Gabby goes and gives Kendall the kiss. So it's Josh versus Kendall. Exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. I told y'all at the end. I ain't gonna jump the gun. We get to it. We'll get to it. But everybody goes to bed like normal. They wake up the next day, same normal routine. Everybody's getting eggs and getting breakfast, but everybody's walking around on eggshells. But we see Justine pretty much asking Josh how he's feeling, and he's like, I mean, I'm hard on myself. I didn't want to let anybody down, knowing that I let down 6 people. Essentially, like, we lost. And he was like stating that, and she tells him, like, don't beat yourself up about it and whatnot. And he says, I mean, it's Josh. No, I didn't say it. He didn't say this. I said this. Josh was using challenge terminology. When I say challenge, I'm talking about the challenge. When they talk about trying to get to the final, they say, I want to run a final, because they're going to have to run a final. When I say run a final, they run a final. If you ain't watched the challenge, you don't know. But they be hiking and shit. It be like 2 days long. They be doing all this different shit, like actually literally running a final. On Love Island, you're not going to run a final. But it was just funny to me because Justine would know, because Justine ran a final. A couple of them. But, Nicola, she gets a text while everybody was lounging and whatnot, and it tells them to gather at the fire pit immediately. So Kendall then gets the text, and it's telling them pretty much Johnny and Gabby's team, they became the power squad, and they got to choose 2 boys and 2 girls to go head to head in a duel, and they marked their targets with a kiss. So everybody's like, what the fuck? And now everybody's trying to think who got kissed. So Josh asked, did anybody get a kiss? You? You? How did you not remember? But Garbi realizes that Toby kissed her on the forehead, and she gets up, you fucking snake. But Tyrique says, did anybody else get one? I said, you just messy. Messy. But Josh then says that Lucinda kissed him twice on the cheek, so now he knows. Kendall realizes that Gabby kissed him. He talking about cold-blooded. But Sydney's trying to figure out who's the last person that got a kiss. And Nicola realizes that it was her and that it was Johnny. And Johnny's sitting there smiling like the villain that he is. My type of villain. I'm telling you. Like, if you're going to be a villain, be it. But Justine gets a text telling them that the winner will be safe and the loser will leave immediately. So Garbi said, I mean, I just dueled. Like, and she did. Like, Garbi been dueling. And she was like, now they want me to go again. But Kendall ends up asking why they chose Josh. What do you mean, why? Like, he's not working with them, and he's a threat to every man in this game. Like, why would they not? But Tyrique says the best way to get rid of one of you is to make sure that y'all fight each other. Real. And that's why I don't understand completely how people don't really respect Tyrique and Johnny's game. They're very upfront about it. How can you not respect the fact that they're going to tell you flat out to your face, yes, I did it, and that's why I did it. Real niggas, like, that's some real nigga shit. But Josh ends up stating that it was just the Johnny show or whatever. He's stating this in his confessional. But basically them kissing and not telling us, spare me the details, just say the shit to my face that you want me in a duel because you think that I'm a threat. Did they not just do that? And then not only that, they did what they had to do because production told them to do it that way. Josh is acting like they're so scared to go tell him that they wanted him out. Like, that's literally them telling you that they want you. Josh. But everybody disperses, and Josh is talking to Isaiah. And he was like, I mean, I was probably the trio's #1 pick. And Isaiah probably wanted him to go out too. I said, it's a game. Why would they not want you out? If they're not working with you, not only if they're not working with you, but just like the biggest threat to any of those other 3 truthfully, for Johnny is you. Like, why would he not get you out? But Black then says that I don't have any bad blood with you or whatever, but I wouldn't want to go against you or Johnny. Duh. Like, look at Johnny and look at Josh and then look at Isaiah. Like, duh. But bitch ass comes up and says that they want one of us gone. No shit. But Isaiah then says that he don't like picking sides. We see that. He says, I'm the middleman. I said, that's some weak nigga shit. Like, you got to stand on something at this point. Like, pick a side. Pick a side. Because it's like even numbers at this point. You either go with them, which is, I mean, it's you basically going to get picked off at that point. Or you go with them and you'll be at the bottom of their totem pole. So at the end of the day, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. But Johnny, Tyrique, and Toby, they're over there talking about how Isaiah over there basically trying to cop pleas, which is exactly what he was doing. And Josh is sitting there stating like whatever Tyrique and Johnny says goes. They don't have your back. They don't. They absolutely don't. But Tyrique then says like, I don't care who stays as long as one of them goes. I care. I want Kendall to go home. Josh, you can go next, but like Kendall definitely go home. But Lucinda, she's sitting over there talking about how she didn't know that there was a divide between the guys. It's a game. Like, do you think they're going to be walking off in the fields of daisies, like skipping off, like excited, and they're going to share the money? No. Just because that's what you're thinking, Lucinda, does not mean they are. Lucinda gets on my nerves, man. I really want her gone. Like, I can't believe she's still here. Like, she needs to go home. But Tyrique says how he doesn't understand how anybody would be upset about it. Like, what did you expect? Exactly. But Lucinda says hearing this type of stuff about Isaiah would send her into a spiral because she don't think that he has one bad bone in his body. He cheated on his ex-girlfriend. That's not good qualities. Like, because he's tonguing you down and giving you attention, he's a saint. Like, Lucinda, please. Like, she's such a... You want to talk about a pygmy? That's a pygmy. But Isaiah comes over, walking over to the trio, talking about they over there heated. And Toby was like, I mean, you over there trying to keep the peace and whatnot. And Isaiah's like, so what you want me to do? Kick somebody when they down? Like, no, they're not kicking him. It's like they're not kicking him while he's down or kicking him and Kendall while they're down. They're literally sitting over there minding their business, yet you over there trying to make... But I mean, I can't be mad at Isaiah for it because at the end of the day, one of them is coming back and he wants to make sure that he's not going to get hit. But like at the end of the day, what's done is done. And you were included in that decision. So no matter what, they still going to possibly come back for you too. But Tyrique says, I just don't respect it. What is there to talk about? I agree. But Isaiah realizes that him trying to play the middleman and try to mediate and stuff, it just doesn't look good for his game. Because basically at this point, you looking like you playing both sides. At least you finally realized it. But Garbi and bitch ass stay up there and Soul Tie's getting each other pepped up. Justine is helping Nicola, pretty much telling her like, you need to keep this positive mindset. Because Nicola, we know how she gets when it comes to competing. She's in that mindset of like, I'm about to get in here and do this shit. Justine pretty much gives her some tips. Like it might be a joust or whatever. And they start practicing and whatnot. Josh and Andrea, same situation really. Like she tells him that like, I don't know if you noticed my energy shift last night because I was knowing that you were going in and I just couldn't tell you. But she was like, you're the biggest threat to them and they feel that way. And she's like, I mean, they're basically just looking out for themselves and I got to do the same thing, but I was outnumbered. And he asked, where do they stand? I said, nigga, your life in the game is in question. Why are you worried about this right now? Like, you know where y'all stand. It's just like he just constantly needs reinforcement from Andrea, which lets me know that he knows that she really don't really see it fully for him like that. I don't think Andrea is that into Josh. Do I think she's attracted to him? Absolutely. But do I think she gonna run off into the sunsets with him after the show? No. I feel like Josh thinks so, though. That's what he wants. But, yeah, they kids, whatever. But everybody's getting ready for the duel now. And we get to the duel. We're going to skip through it. Josh, he's sitting there shadowboxing in his seat. I'm like, who you about to fight? But Ariana arrives and she's asking him how they feeling or whatever. It's tension in the air, obviously. And she congratulates the Power Squad. And she then asked the four chosen if they feel betrayed. And Garbi was like, I mean, when you do good, you get a target on your back. Duh. But Josh says it's clear what's going on. Johnny's sitting there laughing. And Josh proceeds to state, like, there's a clear divide. Johnny, Toby, and Tyrique made the divide. I said, are y'all all supposed to be working together? No. Like, y'all are competition. Like, of course there's going to be a divide. But Ariana asked, do you think that they're a trio? Like, are y'all a trio? And Toby says, I wouldn't say we're a trio. because Isaiah's in it too. But Blackson is copping a plea, and Josh was like, "You don't think that you would be on the chopping block too? Like, after all this is done, they're gonna come for you before they would come for each other." That's true. But Tyrique says, "Don't let him get in your head." Basically, like, shut up. Like, don't listen to what he's saying. But Blackson says it's a valid question, but I'm not scared to duel anybody in this group. I said, that's not what you said earlier. But she then tells them what the duel is for today. They have 5 balls with varying weights in the middle of the ring. So in each round, they have 45 seconds to get the balls, as many balls, over to their opponent's side. The objective, you want to have the least amount of balls on your side at the end of those 45 seconds, because if you do, you win. So the objective is to keep them balls going and have more balls on your opponent's side. The winner stays, the loser goes. It's the best of 3. Garbi and Nicola, they're up first. First round, Garbi was zooming. Boom, 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 boom. Got all them balls over there on Nicola's side. At that point, all she got to do is play defense. Because at the end, basically when Garbi did that, I knew she won. Because like at that point, they're varying weights. There's going to be some that are easy to get over. There's going to be some that are hard because they're heavier. So with her having all 5 of them balls already over there, the time's going to go down. And all she got to do is just make sure that she blocking whatever Nicola is bringing over there. And that's what she did. Like, she won that round easy. Second round, Nicola tried Garbi's strategy. Garbi still had like one up over on her, but protect Garbi. And I'm telling y'all this right now because I already know how them people gonna get. Oh, well, she did that shit on purpose. Fuck her. She's rude. She's mean. Considering everything that's led the build up with what Lucinda's been trying to stick on Garbi, you already know how they're gonna get down. Especially considering from last season. Protect that woman. She did not do this on purpose. She threw the weight thinking that she just throwing it over to the other side, but the weight ends up hitting Nicola in the face. And I was like, damn. Because it looked like one of them bigger ones too. And she hit the ground. And I can't stand stuff like that. Because when I tell you, because I watched, there'll be some videos that be popping up on my For You page on TikTok of weights, like actual weights dropping on people's feet and stuff like I don't know how it gets on my algorithm, but it does. So just knowing how heavy that is and it hitting her face, I know when she fell to the ground, she wasn't acting. But everybody should, because it's like, damn, she just got hit in the face with a weight. Garbi realizes what happened, and she didn't, as we know, she didn't intend to do that. But they get medical out there. Nicola's laying down there on the ground as they trying to help her up. And she's like, I want to continue to play. Much respect to her, because that would have been me. Because like, when you like to compete, even if you hurt, you still gonna try and push through it. So I got to give her respect to that, or for that. But she finally gets on her feet. Medical walks her out. Ariana lets them know after the fact that she's injured. Obviously, it was an accident. Garbi obviously feels bad. She was like, I just threw the ball. I just didn't know where it was going at that point. Next thing I know, she's laying down on the ground. But Nicola, we find out she's feeling better and whatnot, but she just cannot compete. And she can't continue the duel, so she is eliminated. Garbi wins. So Garbi, big threat. She flinging these girls up out of here. Even if that didn't happen to Nicola, I still feel like she was gonna win. She definitely was gonna win. But we then moved to what I was waiting for: Josh versus Kendall. The first round, Josh was emulating the same strategy that Garbi did. Won that round easy. Second round, it got even. They both had 2 balls in their side. So at this point, they just playing defense the rest of it. Both of them sweating bullets, which is how you know they was really in there. Kendall put up a good fight towards the end. Don't like him, but I'll give him that. But I got what I wanted. Josh beat him at the last second. And sent that nigga home. Thank you. Thank you. But he's sitting there crying. With no tears, nothing, no moistness, nothing wet, nothing. Victim noises. Talking about he disappointed Garbi. Okay. Okay, you just mad because you ain't on TV. But Ariana asked, like, you said that you came in here trying to find love. Do you feel like you found it? And he says that he wants to see how things go outside of the house. Please, we know how that's going. We know how that ended up the last time, and we know how it's going to end up this time. But he is gone thanks to the trio. Now that he's gone, Garbi, I can root for you. I can actually give you my votes when I want to give them to you. And I'm going to give them to her because she's fought. Like, if any woman so far deserves the win, it's her. Like, she been in there flinging them girls up out of there, like, completely. But good episode. Good episode. Good episode. Good episode. I'm excited for what is next to come. Like, I don't know what else is going to come. But if you got this far and haven't already, give me that. Get in the comments. Give me that. Subscribe if you're new. Give me that. We on the road to 15K. And I will see y'all on Thursday. Peace.